Good Friday afternoon, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Well, mostly cloudy skies outside, 80 degrees on the barn thermometer. We had some rain move through this morning. Looks like we may have another chance later this afternoon, and then again on through the weekend. A couple quick calendar reminders. Tune in on Tuesday, as Ohio is a powerhouse of national leadership for commodity organizations. Listen to the midday programming and find out why, thanks to Ohio Corn and Wheat. Also, Nature's is proud to support communities. Be sure to stop out at the Allen County Fair August 16th through the 24th. Dale will be there with a live broadcast next Wednesday. Taking a look at your agricultural headlines, the meat industry is pushing back on Vice President Kamala Harris's plan to call for a federal ban on, quote, price gouging when it comes to groceries, especially meat prices. Now, Harris is expected to lay out her economic agenda in a speech in North Carolina. Her vice presidential candidate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, also is on the campaign stump and set to visit Omaha. The Harris campaign stated her plan for the first 100 days in office would be to, quote, bring down costs for American families, and that included creating the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food and groceries. Harris wants more authority for the Federal Trade Commission and states to investigate companies for antitrust. Now, extreme consolidation in the food industry has led to higher prices that account for a large part of the higher grocery bill, the Harris campaign stated. To confront this issue, Vice President Harris will also direct her administration to crack down on unfair mergers and acquisitions that give big food corporations the power to jack up food and grocery prices and undermine the competition that allows all businesses to thrive while keeping prices low for consumers. And her plan will support smaller businesses like grocery stores, meat processors, farmers, and ranchers, so those industries can become more competitive. Now, what's unclear is how a federal ban on retail price gouging would work. Such a move also could translate into suppressing prices for livestock producers in the process. Now, the Biden administration has focused heavily on increasing competition in the meat industry by providing $1 billion in grants and loans for smaller meat packers and local meat lockers to compete against the larger packers. And when it comes to retailers, the Federal Trade Commission back in March released a report looking at the actions of the country's largest grocery markets during the pandemic. The investigation found the country's largest grocery retailers took advantage of COVID supply chain disruptions that worsened food shortages and inflated prices. Among the report's findings, grocery retailers' profits rose and remained elevated, warning further consideration by the FTC and policymakers. Now, Julianne Potts, who's president and CEO of the Meat Institute, which is the lead trade association for meat packers, pushed back on the criticism against the food inflation, saying Harris's campaign rhetoric unfairly targets the meat and poultry industries. Food prices are coming down from pandemic highs, and Potts noted the meat prices are based on supply and demand. The livestock and poultry industries have faced avian influenza and a shortage of cattle, and those prices going higher, along with higher energy and tight labor markets. Consumers have been impacted by high prices due to inflation on everything from services to rent to automobiles, not just the grocery store, Potts said. A federal ban on price gouging does not address the real cause of inflation. Potts added that the prices livestock producers receive are based heavily on supply and demand. Prices for cattle producers especially are at record highs, surpassing the 2014-15 previous high records. Today, well into 2024, cattle prices remain at record levels because the U.S. has the lowest cattle inventory since Harry Truman was in office. And major meat companies have reported losses during the Biden-Harris administration, with some closing facilities and laying off workers, Potts noted. Tyson Foods, for instance, has closed several pork and poultry processing facilities over the last 2 years, and in March, Tyson announced it would close one of its Iowa pork plants, that in Perry, Iowa. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this. Hey Ohio, exciting news coming to you from Ohio's Country Journal. Subscribe or renew your free subscription by September 20th of 2024 and you could win one of 4 50-inch televisions. Ohio's Country Journal is free, but subscribers have to renew their subscriptions every 3 years to continue to receive it. Subscribe or renew to stay updated on all things Ohio, from agricultural insights to rural lifestyle. Don't miss out. Visit our website today at ocj.com/renew.
Did you know soybeans' number one customer is animal agriculture? That includes Ohio's poultry farms. High-protein soy meal keeps poultry farms thriving. Nationally, Ohio ranks second for egg production and ninth for turkey farming. Plus, Ohio produces 526 million pounds of chicken annually. Now that's a lot of birds, and that's a lot of soybeans. Soybeans, feeding the industry that feeds us. Brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Checkoff.
Let's take a look at how your market's closed, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. September corn closed the day down 4.5 cents at $3.70 1/2. December new crop corn down 4.5 at $3.92 1/2. September soybeans closed down 12 3/4 cents at $9.38 3/4. And November new crop beans down 11.5 at $9.57. Wheat for September ended the day a penny and 3/4 higher at $5.30, and wheat for July of 25 was up 3 1/4 at $5.89. October live cattle closed the day down $2.45 at $178.30. October lean hogs down $1.42 1/2 at $75.07 1/2, and October feeder cattle down $4.95 at $235.95. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.